Hi everyone, it's AC here. Today's video will be about why country music's not as good nowadays as it was back, let me say 50 years ago, maybe even 60 years ago, or even a lot longer. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you why country music today is not very good. Well, I will start with country music back in the 1920s, 1930s. So I'll tell you that right now. So back in the olden days, everyone, there were some country music legends, just like Jimmy Rogers, um, Dick Powell, Slim Dusty, and Hank Williams Sr. and Gene Autry and a few others, which they did some country music in the 20s to the 1940s. So that's good. So man, the 1950s, yeah, Hank Williams Sr. was popular, and then here we go now from Farron Young to Kitty Wells to Webb Pierce, Lefty Frizzell, and a bunch of others. And then in the 60s, of course, Patsy Cline, Willie Nelson, Mel Haggard, Johnny Cash is in the 50s, but you know what I mean, like Johnny Cash and Roger Miller, Jim Reeves, um, and just many more, everyone. So, and then here we go to the 1970s. We have like yeah, I forgot to say Ernest Tubb on the 50s, so see, like there's a lot of country music. It's like there's hard to remember, but it's okay. And then the 70s, here we go. We have Waylon Jennings, and then Willie Nelson started growing a beard in the 70s, so that's when he started getting very, very popular around the world. And then hold on a second, everyone. And then we have Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, and then Loretta Lynn. We have June Carter Cash. We have Marty Robbins is in the 50s, so there's a lot, everyone. See, I told you there would be a lot. I might forget, but but so then in the 1980s we have Rebecca McIntyre, Randy Travis, Dwight Yoakam, um, Travis Tritt. Maybe it was the early 90s on Travis Tritt, and Alan Jackson was in the 90s, and so yeah, and then I'll tell you. Then the '90s came, and we had Toby Keith, Carrie Underwood. Oh no, not Carrie Underwood, but it's 2000. What am I thinking? But anyway, Tim McGraw, Toby Keith. Well, George Strait was in the '80s, but anyway, and then we have like, and then I think Kenny Chesney was in the 2000s, but yeah, then in the 90s. Let me tell you about the 90s. That was when country music slowly, for like late 90s, country music started getting slowly terrible. Over time, it started getting worse and worse. And then let me tell you all about the 2000s. Well, Taylor Swift, let me go. Before Taylor Swift became a pop artist, she was a country music artist for several years. And then yeah, we have Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Billy Ray Cyrus, and a bunch of more wiggly artists. And then see that, and then getting bad again. Then we have Blake Shelton. He was like early 2000s. Brett Eldridge, Chris Stapleton, Darius Rucker, Mason Ramsey, Tegan Marie, and oh my God, the goodness. And then we have, well, for George, we have some bands, some country bands too. Like over the decades and years, we have for the Georgia Line, Oak Ridge Boys. Help me out, everyone. Tell me some more bands, country music bands. And well, yeah, we have some all, and then we have some Aussie country music singers. Becky Cole, Troy Cassadaly, Casey Chambers. Yeah, Keith Urban, which he's popular here in the U.S., but he's from Australia. For those of you that don't know that, which most of you do, but I'm just yeah. Keith Urban, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, a lot more, everyone. So and I'm gonna tell you why country music has been very terrible for the last 15, 20 years, 20 years. But the reason why the country music's very bad, and the reason that's bad, everyone's because country music today is more like pop music to me. But so I'm just I just wish that country music. I wish like country music today would be like Willie and Ernest Tubb and all the other artists and for those who for those you're probably gonna ask me what's your favorite country artist, and my favorite would have to be Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Roger Miller, um, Troy Cassidy, Slim Dusty, and the list goes on and on. And then Smokey Dawson was Aussie too. He was an Aussie country singer who died over 2008, I believe. And yeah, so country. So there, and what's got me started on this. Me being a classic country music fan. Well, it's from my dad. Part of it's my dad. My dad had had a couple of some of Willie's popular songs on his old Apple Music track, and like a few night and a Toby Keith song, and Tim McGraw, Never Be a Cowboy. When the sun goes down. All of some of your favorite country songs. And besides, I've seen like children's entertainment acts like in concert. But one of my first real concerts, besides these children's acts and all the other stuff was and very country was very Willie. Of course, not surprised. You'd probably be surprised by this, but it's Willie Nelson. I saw him in 2014 along with my dad and my uncle, and we saw him in Murray, Kentucky, and wow, it was a great time. And I didn't know what to expect at the time, and I didn't know I did not know there'd be there would just be just a lot of acts, but there was like an act before Willie. And I did not know that at the time. I was like, why is Willie running late? And because and then Dad's like, someone's performing now. I think Willie's probably doing something, getting his guitar ready or doing his singing voice ready. But yeah. And then probably year 7, year 8, I really started getting into country music so much. Man, before Merle Haggard died, a few months before Merle Haggard died, we were gonna see we thought about seeing Willie and Merle perform together, but unfortunately Merle Haggard's death had the tour canceled in 2016, and his health problems which led him to his death 5 years ago, and then 28, and then I listened to a lot of the 50s and 60s country music, and I watched a T for Texas video, which was hosted by Matthew McConaughey on his YouTube channel, and maybe it was in Facebook Live too, and it was a good night. They had like some pop and country artists like, yeah, of course, Willie and Kelly Clarkson, Brett Eldridge. Oh, maybe Brett Eldridge might have been it, but anyway, Miranda Lambert, Casey Musgraves, and many more, and George Strait and many other artists were involved in the Texas thing this past Sunday, and just country music today in general is not as good as I wanted, like in the 80s or 70s or even the 60s perhaps. And Willie and Hello Wolves was written by, which was a very young song, but it was written by Willie Nelson. And it's just, and I like old country music artists and acts, but and then it was then and then we went to the Grand Ole Opry. We went to the Grand Ole Opry in 2018 with my with the family, and even my grandparents went. It was a good night, and we saw the Oak Ridge Boys and Tegan Marie, Connie Smith, and a few more, and then when we went a year later, which was 2019, we went there again, and we saw Mason Ramsey and Billy Ray Cyrus and Connie Smith and Crystal Gagel as well. And man, it was just those were good shows to see, and even especially when Mason Ramsey was so popular at the time, and I was like, Dad, Honeys, I want to go see Mason Ramsey, and I was like, please take me to see Mason Ramsey because he's a good singer, and I want to just meet him backstage if I could, but unfortunately, meeting celebrities backstage didn't happen because for obvious reasons, of course. And I think the 2019 Opry show was better than the 2018 because of Billy Ray Cyrus and Mason Ramsey, and they sang Old Town Road, guys. So I think in 2018 it was my second time seeing Willie Nelson, and Willie was there again, and the opening acts were Dwight Yoakam, and I think it was Clark and Robert Earl King were the other acts. Sorry, I forgot who, but I remember now. I know it was Robert Earl King. I think it was in the 80s or maybe the 80s or maybe in the mid to late 80s. Who knows? But so guys, thank you for enjoying my video. I'll be doing more music stuff and filmographies and all the other stuff in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for more videos in the next several weeks and foreseeable future. Remember, keep going, growing. Happy wiggling!